This is an audio-visual presentation on coordinate geometry. Now let's consider gradient of a line joining 2 points. Considering the diagram, we have our y-axis and we have our x-axis. Now, when we consider the graph, A is a point with coordinate x1, y1, where x1 is the x-coordinate and y1 is the y-coordinate. Now B is also a point on the graph with coordinate x2, y2, where x2 is the x-coordinate and y2 is the y-coordinate. Now, the gradient of the line AB, that is the gradient or the slope of the line AB, is given by y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. That is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now example, find the gradient of the line joining the points A 2, 4 and B 5, 6. Now let's look at how best we can find the gradient of the line joining the points A 2, 4 and B 5, 6. Now solution. From the question, we are given the 2 points A 2, 4 and B 5, 6. So with the point A, we have 2, 4. X1 is 2 and our y1 is 4. With the point B 5, 6, our x2 is 5 and our y2 is 6. Now gradient of AB is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now y2 is 6 and y1 is 4. So y2 minus y1 will be 6 minus 4, all divided by x2 is 5 and x1 is 2. So x2 minus x1 will be equal to 5 minus 2. Now 6 minus 4 is equal to 2 and 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. This means that the gradient of AB is equal to 2 divided by 3. Equation of a straight line. The general form of the equation of a straight line is given by AX plus BY plus C equals 0, where A is not equal to 0. Now the slope equation is of the form y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient, that is the coefficient of the x term is the gradient, and the constant plus c is the intercept on the y-axis. Now before you can see the coefficient of the x is the gradient and the constant is the intercept, you have to make sure the coefficient of y is 1. That is y has been made the subject, as can be seen in the equation y equals mx plus c. Now let's look at this problem. State the gradient and the y-intercept of the following lines. 2y minus 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. 3y minus x plus 6 is equal to 0. Now these are the two lines, and from these two lines we have to state the gradient and the y-intercept of the following lines. Now let's look at how we can solve this problem. Solution A. We are given the line 2y minus 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. We can see that coefficient of the x term is minus 4, but that is not our gradient. Before you can see that the coefficient of the x is your gradient, you have to make sure that y has been made the subject. And so let's make y the subject. Making y the subject, we have 2y on the left hand side. Minus 4x on the left hand side becomes plus 4x on the right hand side. And minus 3 on the left hand side becomes plus 3 on the right hand side. Now if you have 2y is equal to 4x plus 3, Take note that we are making y the subject, so we have to divide through by 2. Dividing 2y by 2, we are left with y. This is equal to, when we divide 4x by 2, we have 4x divided by 2 plus, when we divide 3 by 2, we have 3 over 2. Now 4x divided by 2 is equal to 2 because 2 goes into 4 2 times. And so 4x divided by 2 is equal to 2x plus 3 over 2. Now y is equal to 2x plus 3 over 2. Now that we've made y the subject, that is the coefficient of y is 1. We can now compare y equals 2x plus 3 over 2 to the general slope equation. That is y equals mx plus c. Now m is the coefficient of x and m is the gradient. Now we can see that the coefficient of the x after making y the subject is 2, and therefore our gradient is 2. So the gradient is equal to 2. And the constant is 3 divided by 2. Since the constant is the intercept on the y-axis, it means that the intercept on the y-axis is equal to 3 over 2. That is the constant. Take note, coefficient of the x after making y the subject is our gradient. So our gradient is 2, and the intercept on the y-axis is 3 over 2. Now considering the line in B, we were given 3y minus x plus 6 is equal to 0. Here we have to make y the subject before we can compare with the general slope equation. So making y the subject, let 3y be on the left hand side. So we have 3y is equal to minus x on the left hand side becomes plus x on the right hand side. And plus 6 on the left hand side also becomes minus 6 on the right hand side. So we have 3y is equal to x minus 6. Now if 3y is equal to x minus 6, how do we solve for y? We have to divide through by 3. So dividing 3y by 3, we have y. And when we divide x by 3, we have x over 3 minus, dividing 6 by 3, we have 6 over 3. Now y is equal to x over 3 minus 2 because 3 goes into 6 2 times. So y is equal to x over 3 minus 2. Now y has been made the subject, and therefore we can compare the two equations. Y equals x over 3 minus 2 and y equals mx plus c. Now coefficient of the x equals the gradient. Now after making y the subject, coefficient of the x is 1/3. That is 1 over 3. And therefore the gradient is equal to 1 over 3. And the constant after making y the subject is minus 2. That means that the intercept on the y-axis equals minus 2. Now finding the equation of a line. First, when we are given the gradient and the point on the line, how do we find the equation when we are given the gradient and the point on the line? If A, x1, y1 is a point in the xy plane and M is the gradient of a line passing through A, then y minus y1 divided by x minus x1 is equal to M, where P of xy is a variable point on the line. Hence the equation of a line through x1 y1 with gradient M is given by y minus y1 is equal to M into bracket x minus x1. So don't forget, this is the formula we are going to use in finding the equation of a line when you are given the point and the gradient. Y minus y1 equals M into bracket x minus x1. That is from y minus y1 divided by x minus x1. When you cross multiply, you have y minus y1 is equal to M times x minus x1. And that is how come we have y minus y1 equals M into bracket x minus x1. So this is the relation that we are going to use in finding the equation of a line when we are given the gradient and the point on the line. Y minus y1 is equal to M into bracket x minus x1. Example: a straight line has a gradient 3 over 2 and passes through the point 1 minus 3. Find its equation and its intercept on the y-axis. Now we are given the gradient of the straight line to be 3/2, and we are given the point on the line to be 1 minus 3. Let's see how best we can find the equation of this straight line and the intercept on the y-axis. Now solution from the question. We are given m, that's the gradient, to be 3/2. That means that m is equal to 3/2. And we are given the point on the line, that is 1 minus 3. So our x1 is 1 and our y1 is minus 3. So from the relation, y minus y1 equals m into bracket x minus x1. Now m equals 3/2, y1 is equal to minus 3, and x1 is equal to 1. So by substitution, we have y minus, because y1 is minus 3, we have y minus 3 into bracket. This is equal to 3/2, because m, that's the gradient, is equal to 3/2. So we have 3/2 into bracket x minus 1, where 1 is x1, that is x1 equals 1. Now coefficient of the bracket is minus 1. So minus 1 times minus 3 will give us plus 3. That is how come we have y plus 3 in the bracket. Now multiplying through by 2, we multiply the left hand side by 2. That is why we have 2 before the bracket. So we have 2 times y plus 3, and this is equal to, when we multiply the right hand side by 2, the denominator 2 is cancelled. So we are left with 3 into bracket x minus 1. Now let's expand the bracket. We have 2 times y, and 2 times y is 2y, plus 2 times 3 is 6. This is equal to 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. Now let's group all the terms on the left hand side. So 3x on the right hand side becomes minus 3x on the left hand side, and minus 3 on the right hand side also becomes plus 3 on the left hand side. All is equal to 0, because all the terms on the right hand side are now on the left hand side, so it's equal to 0. Now we have 2y minus 3x plus 6 plus 3 is equal to 0. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. So the equation now becomes 2y minus 3x plus 9 is equal to 0. That's the equation of the straight line with gradient 3/2 and the point 1 minus 3 on the line. The equation is given by 2y minus 3x plus 9 is equal to 0. Now when we are given 2 points on the line, how do we find the equation? Example, find the equation of a line AB which passes through the points 2, 4 and 5, 6. So we are given 2 points on the line. How do we find the equation? Now we have point A, that is 2, 4. 2 is x1 and y1 is 4. With point B, 5, 6, x2 is 5 and y2 is 6. So we first have to find the gradient before the equation. Now gradient of AB, we know that gradient is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now y2 is 6 and y1 is 4. So we have 6 minus 4 divided by x2 minus x1, that is 5 minus 2. Now 6 minus 4 is equal to 2, and 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. That means that the gradient of AB is equal to 2/3. The gradient of the line joining AB is equal to 2/3. Now the gradient gives us 2/3. After calculating for the gradient, we had m to be equal to 2/3. Now using any of the points, you can either use point A or point B together with the gradient to find the equation. Now in this case, we are using point A together with the gradient. Now with point A, 2, 4, x1 is 2 and y1 is 4. Now the relation we are going to use in finding the equation is y minus y1 is equal to m into bracket x minus x1. y1 equals 4, x1 equals 2. So by substitution, we have y minus 4 equals 2 over 3, where 2 over 3 is the gradient, that is m. m equals 2 over 3. So in place of m, you have to substitute 2 over 3 into bracket x minus 2. Now we multiply through by 3. So when we multiply the left hand side by 3, we have 3 into bracket y minus 4. And when we multiply the right hand side by 3, the 3 will cancel the denominator. So we are left with 2 into bracket x minus 2. Now we expand. 3 times y equals 3y. 3 times minus 4 equals minus 12. This is equal to 2 times x equals 2x. And 2 times minus 2 equals minus 4. Now moving all the terms to the left hand side. 2x on the right hand side becomes minus 2x on the left hand side. And minus 4 on the right hand side becomes plus 4 on the left hand side. All is equal to 0. So we have 3y minus 2x minus 12 plus 4 equals minus 8. And so the equation becomes 3y minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Or you can make y the subject from the equation 3y minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. And in making y the subject, we have y equals 2 over 3x plus 8 over 3. That is how we find the equation of a line when you are given 2 points on the line. Now distance between 2 points. Distance between 2 points. Let's consider the 2 points. We have point A with coordinate x1, y1. And we have point B with coordinate x2, y2. The distance between the 2 points A and B is given by the square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 all square. That is how we find the distance between 2 points. Example, find the distance between the point P, 2, 5 and Q, 5, 9. These are the 2 points given in the question. And we are supposed to find the distance between the points 2, 5 and 5, 9. Now from the question, let's look at the solution. Point P has coordinates 2, 5. So x1 is 2 and y1 is 5. Because for every point, the first value is your x coordinate and the second value is your y coordinate. So for the point P, 2, 5, x1 is 2 and y1 is 5. Now for the point Q, 5, 9, x2 is 5 and y2 is 9. Now the distance between P and Q is given by PQ equals the distance between P and Q is given by PQ equals the square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. x2 minus x1 square. x2 is 5 and x1 is 2. So we have 5 minus 2 square plus y2 minus y1 square. y2 is 9 and y1 is 5. So we have 9 minus 5 square. Now 5 minus 2 is 3. So we have 3 square plus 9 minus 5 is 4. So we have 4 square. Now 3 square equals 9 and 4 square equals 16. And 9 plus 16 is equal to 25. So the square root of 9 plus 16 is equal to the square root of 25. And the square root of 25 is equal to 5. So this is how we find the distance between 2 points. This is how we find the distance between 2 points. This is the end of our presentation on coordinate geometry.